You're here because you have a goal of becoming a private jet flight attendant, or you've already started your career and you're trying to grow within this industry. One thing about goals, it is so easy to focus on, this narrow mind, this one vision of, hey, this is what I want to do. I'm not going to let anything else distract me, but this is what I want. And I love goals. I love that you can focus so much on that. But now that you have this goal of, hey, I'm going to get into private aviation and have a career in this, I want you to step back for a moment and start considering, what is my grand vision for this goal? What is my grand vision for my life within aviation? Because everybody's path is going to look a little bit different. Nobody's path is going to be the same. And you need to know that you have options. You need to know that what your career starting off today is going to look very different than, say at retirement or 10 years from now, 20 years from now. So I want you to not just get so focused on, hey, what's my next trip? Or I'm in this so that I can travel the world. Because traveling the world is absolutely amazing, but there are so many more things to life than just travel. It's about relationships. It's about family. Do you want kids? You don't have to have kids, but where do you want to live? There are so many different things within aviation or within this career that you need to take into consideration. So many other things within life that you need to take into consideration. So I don't want you to just get so narrow-minded of like, hey, I got to just be here and I got to just work for this one kind of company. But step back for a moment. And somebody got me to step back a long time ago. I was actually working for an engineer's office of all things. They were asking about a project or the boss was, and she said, I don't want to know about the nitty-gritty details. I want to know what's the vision for this project from 30,000 feet. And I thought that was fantastic because I was like, wow, nobody's ever told me look at this from above. I didn't realize this, but looking, back years later, I'm like, oh, now I'm physically working at 30 or 40,000 feet. So I took that little bit that somebody said, hey, give me this grand vision from 30,000 feet and tell me about it from here and not the ground level. So that's the way I want you to start thinking about your life and about your career within aviation is, what is my grand vision for this? In fact, I was so inspired by what's the grand vision from 30,000 feet. I actually wrote a book called Girl, Get a Vision. And it was my story from going from, just feeling stuck in this 9-to-5 job and people telling me things like, you'll never be anything, or there's no hope for you, and just really discouraging, to being able to find that thing that worked for me. And then growing that career and what I thought my career in aviation was going to be like has even stepped up further and further and further. So I've been able to step back and be like, oh wow, okay, this has been even better than I thought. But I don't want to just be driven, by happenstance where I go in this career. I want to be able to choose where I go in this career. So that's why I want you to get a vision. And I'm telling you, girl or guy, you get a vision for what you want for this career, for your life. So there's many different options that I want you to think about. So within the realm of being a private jet flight attendant, do you want to be an instructor later? Do you want to be a lead flight attendant? What do you want to do with this? You don't have to just be working trips every day. There are so many more things that you can do with this. Do you want to have a side business along with working on the airplanes? Your side business can have something to do with aviation. Your side business can have nothing to do with aviation. But what is your vision for this life? What is your vision for this career? And don't let anybody else dictate what this has to be. Because within private aviation, there are so many options. You can be in New York, you can be in Dubai, you can be in California or Florida, you can be in Denver, you can be in the middle of the country. Do you want to work for a company that allows you to live in a more remote area, but will allow you to be home based and airline you out to the next job? You need to get a grand vision of what you want. And this will help dictate or determine what you start applying to now. And I know you're just trying to get experience, but this way you can line up what you're applying to with that grand vision. So if you want to hear my story about how I got a grand vision or got my vision, my book is Girl, Get a Vision, links below. But anyways, I want you to know that you have the absolute power to create whatever vision you want. Remember, think grand and then kind of work backwards to figure out where you need to start. First is just being so focused on, hey, I get to travel the world, this is amazing. You're working on airplanes that millionaires and billionaires own. I want you to start thinking that way. They had a grand vision for something, and that's how they were able to get to the heights that they are and now own the jets. So why can't you also have a grand vision beyond just working the trip, beyond just getting a day rate, beyond just getting a salary? What does this need to look like for you to feel fulfilled? What does this need to look like so that you can live the life that you've always wanted? You can have both. You can have a personal life and a professional life. You just need to figure out how do they meld together. So don't just get stuck in thinking, oh my gosh, I gotta grab a job, I gotta get in, my first contract flight, or I gotta get on with whatever company will take me. You can get choosy once you get your foot in the door. You can get choosy with, hey, this is the direction I want to go. This is what's fitting my life. This is what's fitting my grand vision. So don't forget to think really big. Step back for a second, or maybe you're sitting in the airplane on an empty leg and you're sitting at 30 or 40,000 feet. Look out the window. Daydream for a moment. I'm all the way up here. What do I want for this life? What do I want to look down upon within my life and say, this is it? This is what I want to build. This is what I want to have. Yes, today was a little bit more emotional and inspirational versus technical for, actually getting on with this job, but I always want to inspire. I always want to encourage you, and I always want you to think about the bigger picture. And just like myself, I had somebody in the past say, mean things over me, that you'll never be anything, there's no hope for you, blah, blah, blah. You need to put aside all those things. You need to cast out all those things that people have said over you, like, oh, are you sure you're gonna be able to, break into this career? Who are you to work on a private jet? Or, you think you're too good, you're working on this, working with these millionaires and billionaires. Who cares what other people think? It's your vision, it's your life, it's your possibilities. So start speaking really well over yourself. Start speaking what it is that you want for your life and have that grand vision. Anyways, let me know down below in the comments what your vision is for your life within this career.